Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's XAUUSD webinar. My name is Duncan Cooper, and tonight's webinar is Live Forex Market Review, so we'll get into that momentarily. Everybody, if you can read through the disclaimer, if you're on our YouTube live stream, I cannot see the chat, but you're more than welcome to join us in the webinar. I've given you the link there so that you can register. For those in the webinar, if you can ask me questions through the webinar chat or the question answer box, I've got both open. I'll see them coming in. So just take the time to read through the disclaimer before we move along. All right, we'll move along now. If you don't know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm a Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor here at XAUUSD. And I'm a full-time Forex trader. I've been trading now for more than 15 years in the Forex market and mentoring for more than 10. If you want to contact me, my email is there, duncan.cooper@acy.com. Through the week, you can connect with us at our website, acy.com, go to the Market News tab, or our YouTube channel, XAUUSD Australia. And if you want to connect with me personally, and maybe connect with my social media, just head over to my Linktree page with my name there, Duncan Cooper FX, and you can connect with me if you wish. So I'll just give you a moment or two to jot anything down there that you might want to jot down. As well, if you want to get access to my MT4 chart layouts and templates, just simply contact Nathan.bray. I'll put his details in the chat for you. Any questions about a demo account or live account, you can speak to Nathan. So there we go. So the MT4 charts that I'm using in my live analysis and education webinars, if you want to get access, just contact Nathan. His email is there on screen, and I'll just put it in the chat for you. All right, so let's get into tonight's webinar. So we'll just have a quick look at what news is left for the week. So red items, I'm at forexfactory.com time, showing my time, Queensland time. 11:30 tonight, we've got the US unemployment claims figures coming out. Tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. for the UK retail sales numbers coming out month on month. And late really, or early morning Saturday, late Friday, early morning Saturday, the US prelim UOM consumer sentiment dollars coming out. So not too much left for the week. All right. Do note for the UK's inflation figures did pick up this week. Yesterday, just slightly higher than the month before. We're expecting a slight drop. So that has put a slight bit on the pound, at least up 100 pips anyway. All right, let's get to the charts. Now, I'll start with the dollar index. And it keeps on keeping on from the monthly position that we've been discussing. 7 percent retracement from a higher top. May have a head and shoulder pattern forming here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Coming up to an area of resistance just at the moment, based on the weekly chart, an old area here, 103.60. So of course we need to move above there if we're going to continue up within this pattern that we're seeing on the monthly chart. So just testing there at the moment. On the day chart, you can see we had a bit of rejection there yesterday, but we do have high tops and bottoms, so we may be having 1 or 2 days down, or a day down, because we're actually positive for the day compared to yesterday. Maybe having a day down before having a push up and through. All right, I'm anticipating this could be a longish term low at the moment, and expectation maybe we are moving back up this range, which would mean pairs to the US dollar are going to continue to decline if that happens. S&P 500 it's forming a little bit of a double top here on the day chart. As we discussed on Tuesday, if this is a double top, target at the moment would be down around about the 45.30 area. And more importantly, now why are we double topping up here? It's because we are at very close to the all-time high up here. So we just got a little bit short of the all-time high, started to stall. are we going to start to see a long-term reversal? So the break of the inside candle 2 days ago was the entry if you wanted to get short this instrument. And we've obviously been selling down at the moment. So you could still look to get short. If you think the bias is to the short side, you can see if price could climb back up to the 79% level, 147.67. Selling at that level, stop above the high. That would be a good risk reward if you're targeting the double top. Target down here at around about 45.30. All right, so will we get a continued decline with that little double top forming? Maybe this could be the start of a long-term decline. We'll have to wait and see. Are we going to start to see a long-term move back up on the US dollar and a topping out phase on the S&P 500 as the markets may be anticipating that we're not going to be reducing interest rates anytime soon or at all maybe through the year. We'll have to wait and see what occurs. But I think the market is starting to factor in that it's not coming anytime soon in the next 3 months. All right. Euro dollar. Let's go to the daily chart. So we've been forming a downtrend. We've had this long decline and this corrective measure up here to the 79% retracement and this weekly area of resistance here. And then the day chart trends turn down now. We're having a day up, having a bounce off this day support level here and here. So 108.76 down to 108.52 has been offering a little bit of support. But we're already negative for the day. We've been up for the day, we're already negative for the day, and really kind of failing at 109. So not being able to get up to last week's low that's been broken. Just been coming up to fill some imbalance in here, which I went through yesterday on imbalances. So could well be seeing a nice failure here at 109.100, just slightly above. We are back down to support. So if you're more bullish this pair at the moment, you think we're going to have a longer term rally back up the range, we're back down to that day support level that we're folks breaking yesterday. So in this area, you could be looking for your set to buy. Buying up from day support here, price may want to, even though this is a downtrend, price may want to at the moment, come back up to the 62% level, the 79% level, before then maybe putting in a further lower top in the daily. So it is a buying area here if you're prepared to go counter trends. On the other side of the coin, if we're not able to get any kind of strong rally, then we may be failing at 109. So whilst there could be an opportunity here for your setup to buy, there could be a minor head and shoulder pattern here on the 50-minute chart. Let's get my drawing tool in. Okay, false broke 109 there. Came back up, false broke. We could come back up to 109 where the 79% level is, or opposite here, but I think the 79% level would be the go just in here with the figure. That would potentially be a good area to sell if it came back up for a rally retest intraday today. So there's two sides of the market here at the moment. We could be seeing a reversal from 108.76 up, and of course that could continue up over the next few days, or it could come back up and stall at 109. So it depends what side of the market you want and how you want to trade the pair as well. Day chart, I'd be a lot happier rather than just looking at today's price action. I'd be a lot happier looking for a sell. Go to the 4-hour chart. This whole move down here, this is a day chart, top to bottom. I'd be a lot happier looking at the 62% of the larger range and the 79% of that day chart range here. 109.59 to 109.66. Yes, it could come up to 109.78 as well. 109.78 is an area that we're false breaking, but that's only a minor area of support and resistance that was. So to the day chart here, fib from high to low. Up here, you got the 62% level of the major range, 79% level of the day range there. Then that would be the area that I would, in a perfect world, look for the market to come up over the next few trading days if it can. Here, there's 4-hour, these are day chart highs, but the 4-hour tops, swing tops in through all this area here. So that would be a good area to watch for price to rally back to and then trade down. That's assuming that price can do that. All right. Today, if we close below 108.76, then we're probably not going to do that, and we're probably still heading further down. And tomorrow, you might be looking at 108.76 to be resistance if we close below that level today. Patrick, you're asking me, is a recommended stop loss on the pips if below the entry point for long euro dollar if you're trading the counter trend? Not necessarily. It's entirely up to you how you want to look at risk and how many pips you think you can get as a reward. If you were going to trade here and go along with a 100 pip stop, I don't know if that is the best maybe approach, because what I would certainly maybe do is, first of all, I need to understand, let's say we're coming up to 79% level. Let's say the market could do that. There's only 87 pips to that level. All right. So if I was going to use a 100 pip stop below here, I can't even get a risk reward of 1-to-1 to allow price just to come up to the 79% level. So the risk to reward doesn't make any sense. Price would have to come all, change trend and move up for that size of stop to make sense. So we go back down to the 50-minute chart here. Really, if I was trading real close to 108.76 here, I want that to hold. And as a maximum, it might come down to the central pivot point here. So just having you stop at the next pivot point below 108.65, down there to where price is right now, you're only having to risk about 20 pips. So at the moment, the market is kind of showing maybe it wants to hold at 108.76. It could come down to the central pivot point and hold. So having you stop at this maybe pivot point here, it only requires you a 20 pip risk. And if we do move up to the 79% level, there's about 87 pips. Let's call it 80 pips up to that level. So then you've got a potential risk reward of around about 1-to-4, maybe not quite 1-to-4 when we factor in the fact that we're not quite down at 108.76 here, but certainly a risk reward of 1-to-3. So you have to look at what is your potential reward when you're thinking about putting that stop in. Now, if you thought price is going to hold it at 108.76 and we're going to come up and test this high up here, well, that would be fine. But I don't know if price can do that, because at the moment we've got a clear downtrend here. So I would have to have something in that was telling me, okay, I think this is a very strong level to trade from, and I'm going to see a trend shift if I wanted to risk 100 pips. Okay. And you're saying you've read the figure incorrect. I thought the take profit is about, well, if you're going to risk 100 pips, you want to be targeting 200. But the question has to be, if you're setting up a trade where you're going to risk 100 pips, are you in an area where you think price can move 200 pips? For me personally, I think price could have maybe come up to rally to the 62 or 79% retracement of this range. So then, that being said, I don't have a risk reward that I'm happy with there, so I can't risk 100 pips. If I thought that long-term price was going to trade up to here, well, it'd be okay to risk 100 pips. But it depends, what is your analysis telling you in terms of where do you think price is going to go long-term? And then that's going to dictate how many pips you think you're happy to risk to create a good risk reward, okay? All right. Into the euro yen. Now, the euro yen did break above the area that I was watching. Let me just get rid of these fibs that I'm monitoring, ranges that I'm monitoring. Last week, we rejected this weekly high here, and I was thinking maybe a left shoulder head, right shoulder could have been forming on the weekly chart, coming up from a lower point, but quite clear we broke above there. And we're actually heading up to the next level of resistance on the daily chart. this area here. So at the moment on the day chart, and whilst this is cleaning the day chart uptrend, the weekly trend is down. All this move up is correcting this movement here. We're in between the 62 to 79% area. And we're just fractionally short of last month's high, which is here. And we've come up to the starting point of where this imbalance started, and the decline went down for 5 days. So we filled an imbalance in here. We came all the way up to fill the imbalance, back to resistance. And you can see today that we're negative for the day. So I'm still in the frame of mind that we could, the weekly trend here is down. We're coming up from a lower bottom. This is actually a minor monthly low as well that we broke down here. So potentially shifting the monthly trend to down. So at the moment, I'm still in the frame of mind that this could be this kind of pattern forming. This is corrective to put it, if this puts a lower top in, we're in the area where we could top out. Of course, we could move up higher and we could test the high of last year. So at the moment, I'm just monitoring. I'm going to be monitoring this day chart here from where does it close today? Do we get a reversal candle today? At the moment, maybe we are getting a reversal. We're negative for the day, but the day hasn't finished yet. By the end of the day, we could be a full-on blue candle. But if we finish with let's say we close in the next 5 minutes and finish with a candle like that, we get a small spinning topish kind of candle at a very clear known area of resistance where we broke strongly below. This could be where all the sellers are positioning themselves. So I'm going to be watching to see if we get a reversal candle up here or not over the next, through the day to the close. All right, for our chart, we are still in an uptrend, but we're selling down at the moment. So do we get a reversal candle today? Do we start to see the 4-hour chart? Maybe, the 4-hour chart could, through the course of the day. So actually, the last 4-hour candle has retested 120, 160, 124. But do we come down over the next 12 hours or so, start to see some kind of retest failure on the 4-hour chart? If we do, that's going to start to add a little bit of weight that maybe we're at a very good level for a failure. We're very high up here. This is last month's high point. So we're just a little bit short of last month's high. So we're at very high levels where the selling started. This is where the selling started last month. All right. That's where we filled the imbalance. All right, so I'm just watching for the potential of a reversal then. I'm just going to pause, got something come in the chat. All right, I see your question, Patrick. I'll get to that when we get to the New Zealand dollar. All right, now, so Euro yen, I'm just monitoring this area for a potential reversal, but I'm just having to see some more information. Euro pound, if you've been following my commentary on the Euro pound, I've been saying I can get my Euro pound to come up. This is what I was looking at on Tuesday. I was saying watch 8609 has been a resistance area. This is how I was setting it up on, this is my 15-minute chart, how I was setting things up. This is the area where I was highlighting. And it's come back up to revisit that again yesterday. So that was Tuesday, failed. And then just to show you what actually happened. That was a range, that was the whole range of that Tuesday day. Yesterday we came up to 79% retracement area and then back below 8609. So I've been saying 8609 area or slightly above was the area to watch for resistance, 8609. So if we go to the weekly chart, 8609. is this old weekly low here, where we've moved below. So we've, on the weekly chart, we've moved down. We're at a 79% rally. And now we're starting to want to hold below weekly old support here, 86.09. Are we continuing down into the support areas down here? It's rather choppy, but anything above 86.09 is being met by the sellers. In fact, at the moment, I would be watching 4-hour range for a rally back up to the 79% level, 86.07, 2 pips short of 86.09 once more. That would be the area that I would watch for the next opportunity to sell in line with the overall downtrend. All right, that would be an area I'd watch for. Or move up to. And if we don't get a rally, we're getting very close to support down here, 85.47 support down here. So my only get down to support and hold. Euro pound can be very range bound. So I might offer another rally for a drop down support. All right, getting to pound dollar. So yesterday, inflation figures picked up a fraction. Very range bound here at the moment. My big question is, are we fading at or around about the 62% level of this decline? Then we moved up, started to top out, go sideways. We're rather sideways here. Just false broke supports. I mean, we could be dealing with ultimately here this wanting to be range bound at the moment. I should try to sell this up here on Monday at 127.80 and missed it by 15 pips, which was very annoying. But we've just moved down just to a lower point but we could be range bound and we could be coming all the way back up to the top of the range. So I haven't traded up because I'm thinking that long term we've moved down, rallied, and now we're moving this way. So I'm looking for some opportunity to sell a rally point. So yes, we could stay range bound and come all the way back up to the top of the range. That's a possibility. At the moment, I'm watching to see if we can rally back up to, so looking at that as a top to a lower point. So I'll be looking at the 79% level at 127.44. There's a high over here to the left. Just going to drop to the 4-hour chart. Lots of 4-hour tops in this area here. So I'm going to be watching up here from the 79% level up into these highs, assuming we can get there, because we might not get there. So 127.44 up to these highs here, which is starting at the 127.59 level. Now, what I am noticing today is this area at the moment is holding the market. Those old 4-hour lows is around about the 127 level. You see a 4-hour rejection at the moment. So if we finish it in the next half an hour, 36 minutes, if we finish with a rejection candle, we may not be able to get up to the levels that I'm watching. There could be an opportunity to try to short close as you can to 127 to then trade down, back down to support. So let's just have a look at this on the 15-minute chart. So if we finish negative on the 4-hour candle, all right, let's just say we've 4-hour candle's just finishing now. What I would look at is the range of the 4-hour candle. Can we then come up to the 79% level, which is very close to the figure, to hold there to turn over and move down? All right. So that's what, I think that's very obviously at the moment we're seeing selling pressure at 127, getting support down here at 126 yesterday. So it's had a 100 pip rally. Maybe it's topping out there at 127. So you have to decide, do you want to engage if we retest 127, or are you going to wait for a higher rally if that can come? All right. So you're going to need to work out what you want to do if it comes back up for a retest of 127. Pound yen. like the Euro yen to come back up higher up the range. This is even higher up the range than the Euro yen. Back up to selling levels. You can see a very large range there. It's not obvious. I'll draw it in, but hopefully it's obvious. All right. Getting up to very high levels from late November, where we're selling off today. Now, if we finish with some kind of small inside candle today, that's going to be, what they call harami from candlestick patterns. And a break of the inside candle could be just the ticket they're looking for the trigger to sell to trade back down the range. So hasn't changed its 4-hour trend up here, but if the 4-hour trend was to change here over the next 24 hours or so, then I would start to get myself set for maybe a move back down. There's an imbalance here that's gotten formed that may need to be filled. So we might see price action do something like, could come up to a further retest or put in a slightly lower top. If you start to see a lower top form, anticipate that this area of imbalance is going to get filled. Okay. And then, we could see some price action coming down like that over the next couple of trading days. So I'm just waiting to see if price starts to show its hand like that, because we're very high from previous selling levels, from levels where we had a very swift move down from. So I'm not in an area at the moment where I want to be buying. If I don't see a good reason to sell, I won't be selling. But we're very high up previous selling levels. Okay, now if prices come back down here, this is a previous buying level, so that would be an area to watch for a reversal back up. We could just stay range bound, failing up here to trade back down to support. So I'm just monitoring to see what happens up here. This isn't where I don't want to be buying into resistance, right? Because we're at the top of the range. So I'm not going to buy. If I see a clear signal to sell, I can obviously look at that. All right, Aussie yen, very range bound at the moment. I'm looking at this as significant top up here, where we false broke the previous year's high. 79% level held here, then we false broke here. So I'm looking at that as a very strong area of resistance. I actually got short up here, so I'm waiting to see if this is going to continue to start to break down this way. And can we come down and test this low? Can we break down through 93.75? That's what I'm looking for at the moment. Now, if you're not in, of course, if we came back up to 97.57, that's a very strong area of resistance at the moment from this double top that was. We came up to hit this weekly top at 97.66. I got short at 97.55. Now, this could come back up for a retest. You could be drawing a fib from see how it comes up this area. So back down the 4-hour chart. It's just holding an uptrend just here at the moment in terms of its higher bottom to a higher top, but it's very slow and rangy here. If I wasn't already short from 97.55, this could most definitely come back up to 97.55 if it really wanted to. That would be an area that we'll watch. That's the selling area if it comes back up to retest at the moment. Don't know whether it can get up there. It's not looking very strong at the moment. But that would be the area that I would watch if we could get up there, if you wanted to look at engaging on that pair. All right, Aussie dollar. It's had a very nice sell-off. I've just been monitoring the range of yesterday. Just been kind of holding at the 62 area at the moment of yesterday's range. Now, Been saying on the monthly chart, lower top to lower bottom. I'll be forming a lower top up here. We've had a good 3-week sell-off back down to weekly support. So I'm anticipating this weekly support area we could bounce here because it is a very strong, well-known area of support. All right, and we are bouncing off there right now. The question is, how strong a bounce are we going to get? We may bounce back up to this area here, which is an area on the day chart. This little area of, we got a little bit range bound in here, and then we broke below these two lows. So if we do get a strong bounce from, we just got short of 65.22 down to 65.11 weekly support. And that was last month's low. So we're getting some natural buying pressure from around the area of last week's low. And a very obvious area to watch for resistance would be up here with the trends. And if the swings here at the moment have been a heavy sell-off. We got a little bit of bounce kind of into this area. And trend is down on the daily here. I'm anticipating we could, be coming down to here at some point. So the very obvious area to look for the next short would be up here. All right, at 66.47, assuming we can get up there. All right. So I'm just waiting, and we have the 62% level just above there of the range. So 66.47 up to 66.58 would be a very good area to just be patient and see if we can come up and then form the next lower top. It's very low at the moment. I'm not prepared to sell it so low at the moment because it's very overextended to the downside. It really needs a bounce. Doesn't mean to say price has to have a bounce, but logically you would think, okay, if that was a minor swing top here, I can just get rid of my drawing tool. Then, there's a 62% level of that range in there if you move to the 4-hour chart. All right. It's really the area of resistance I was discussing, but it can just get up a little bit higher into the 62 areas here. 62 area of the major range and 62% area of this range. So 66.47 up to 66.58, that area there would be a very nice area to look at. 4-hour chart here is looking a little bit supportive. So I'm not wanting to go counter trend, but if you want to go counter trend, it is looking a little bit supportive on the 4-hour. You can see we came down and rejected early in the day on the job figures. So there may be some upside here in the short term. All right. But I'm favoring the downside, so I'm not looking to trade up. I mean, we could only maybe come up to the 66 level. Early in the week, we failed at the 67 level. So then we've broken below 66 and we've been down to almost 65, got down to about 65 or 24. So we could see, it's going to drop to my 50-minute chart. We could see, yesterday, there's the 66 level, we moved below. Couldn't get up to 66 yesterday, moved down. 66 maybe as high as we can get if we get any kind of rally. Okay, so that is worth watching over the next couple of days. Can we get up to 66? What happens at 66? All right, we might not be able to get up to the 66 kind of 40-ish area that I'm discussing. So I'm just looking for the price to come up a bit, and then does it offer you a reversal down from a higher level? All right, New Zealand yen. This is the area that I drew in on Tuesday. It's come into this 79% level of the big range from over here. So it's a 79% level of last month's range at 90.68 and up to the 79% level of this range here. And had a nice reversal. Starting to want to maybe move back below to the day chart, this area of known resistance here. This is looking suspiciously like it wants to form a lower top on the day chart to move down. So, looking for your setup in this area for a sell. Like I was saying on the Aussie yen, this looks a little bit suspicious, like it's down, rally, down. Looking like on the day chart, if we finish with a rejection candle there today, we've come down, we've come up to 79% level, those two 79% levels to then come down this way. So we get a good close below 90.42 today, because you've missed the opportunity at the 79% level. Just dropping down the 15-minute chart. If we close down here today, then most certainly tomorrow we'll watch 90.42 to be resistance. It's still debating as to whether it can hold below 90.42 at the moment. But if we clearly close below there today, look for 90.42 to be resistance tomorrow. Now, this might offer you a nice rally back up. So you could draw a fib from high to low. We've done the range for the day, so we may retrace back inside the range of today. And I've actually got another 79% level there of this range, 90.60. Then 90.68, the 79% level of the monthly range in this area here. So that would be an area to watch. I'm always looking at 79% levels because that offers me the highest point to sell within the range and offers me the best risk reward as price moves back down with the reversal. So what it means is I have to be patient. Sometimes price isn't going to get to my level. But when I was doing the analysis on Tuesday over here, I said watch these two 79% levels. So if you're patient for a day and a half, you could have been looking up there earlier in the day for the opportunity to trade down. All right. $0. Now, Patrick, let me just reread what you've put in. So you're asking me, obviously, on Tuesday, you're telling me you were trying to trade down to 6,100, but it got very close to. In fact, it got down to 6,100, didn't it? So it's just back down to support at the moment. Like I was just discussing on the Aussie, yes, looking for price to rally. I'm just reading because you've written a lot here. Just let me read everything to myself. All right, so your first point you're making is, you're looking for, I think, from here, like I was saying on the Aussie, can it come up to maybe a 62% or a 79% retracement to then trade down? Well, that's what I would tend to look for. The other area to watch would be, does price come to this area and just simply hold it? Broken support becomes resistance. I don't like that level because it's the 50 level, but sometimes that will be the level that price wants to hold at. So if that was the case, if price was to come here and start to want to hold, just say a broken support, being resistance, I would just drop to a lower time frame and look to see if I can see a reversal maybe on a 50-minute chart, or do I see a 4-hour candle rejection? That would signify in my mind that, okay, it's not going higher, it's rejecting that level, so I need to look for an opportunity to get short. That's how I would try to work that. So at the moment, in a perfect world, if I was looking to get short this for further decline, I would be looking at 79% level, 62.36 to 62.47, which is a resistance area to the left over here. All right, that would be the most opportune area that I would look for. But of course, if it doesn't get there, then I have to monitor to see what things are going on. And that's assuming that we, at the moment, yesterday's trading is high to low. So, if we just monitor yesterday's trading range, we've been up a little bit short of the 79% level. So we might not be able to have a day up today. And we might not be able to have a day up tomorrow. So to get up to the levels that we're discussing, we're going to have a day up or a couple of days up. So if the market isn't having days up, it may be a question of just monitoring the range of the previous day. Like when I was on the Aussie dollar, I had my 15-minute chart here when I came on. I was just monitoring the range of the previous day, because at the moment, we're just at the 62% area of the previous day's range. And this is New York's high point. And we're really holding at the highs of New York. So we might not be able to get up any higher than that before then continuing the downtrend. So yes, I'm looking at high levels on the Aussie and the New Zealand, but sometimes the market doesn't want to give you the high levels that you want to sell at. This year alone, I missed getting short. If I go back to the Aussie, I'm always looking at the high levels. I missed getting short on the Aussie the first day back in the new year by, I think, about 12 pips up here. And you can see where it's been down 300 pips, which is very, very annoying. So I'm always looking for the high levels. But sometimes I miss, and then, yes, it moves the way you're anticipating, and it gets very annoying that you didn't get in where you wanted to get in. So, but that's trading. All right, so yes, on the New Zealand dollar, I will now be watching for a bounce back up the range for a lower top to form. We have a lower top, lower bottom. Hopefully that addresses all the commentary that you're putting in there, Patrick. All right, let's have a look at the dollar CAD. All right, on Tuesday, I did discuss a pullback here. Watch for a pullback to supports, which it did. And now it's been moving up to fill the area of imbalance that I was discussing. Not quite 100% filled it, but it's come back to this area of broken support. On the day chart, clear uptrend. It may need a day or two down to continue this uptrend. As I've been previously saying, like the dollar index, we could be forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern here on the monthly chart. So clear uptrend on the daily. I think we're just, current range on the day chart is here. Can it have a 62 or a 79% pullback? That's what I'm watching for. We're up here from that low. We've had 4 positive days up, nice move up. You don't want to be buying on the 5th day. You want to be just being patient, allowing the market to pull back, and look for an opportunity to trade on a dip. All right. We got last week's high here. Overlaps with the 50. I'd much prefer the 62% retracement. So we could come into the 62 level. So if it spikes below last week's high into the 62 area here, that would be a nice area to look for. Support, and then can you see the opportunity to buy maybe on a lower time frame? But I wouldn't be trying to buy so high up. Looking for a dip. All right. Dollar franc. Same story. We've actually false broken monthly support here. Turned into a clear uptrend on the day chart. I just want to see where this level is. Where's this line coming from? This line's coming from another monthly low over here. So it's just in an area. It's false broke this level and it's coming up to test this level. So this is an area that can actually hold a resistance at 86.99. So we've been a bit short of there. Perfect scenario at the moment would be that the uptrend could hold, but we have a dip. 62 levels pretty much overlaps with the monthly level of support down here. 85.42, just drop to 4-hour chart. So 85.42, your monthly support's at 85.52. That would be the primary to watch for a dip within the uptrend on the day chart. So that if you get support here and it starts to move up, you can then attack the monthly resistance level here that we're just a little bit short of, and can we move above that level to continue the US dollar revival that we're seeing. Just pausing because I got another question coming in. All right, just giving me some commentary there. Yeah. Thanks, Patrick. All right, so dollar franc, if we could dip, we'll be watching down here 85.52 to 85.42. Again, the day trend is up, so I'm not looking to short against the trend. I'm looking to see if price can come back to an area that I would like to be engaging in to the upside with the trend. All right, dollar yen. Now, for weeks I've been discussing this double top, this weekly reversal. Looking to see if we could come up to this resistance level. Could we come up to 79% level? Maybe we can or we can't, 149.40. We've been a little bit short of 148.80, the weekly resistance level in there. So, like I was saying on the pound yen and the euro yen, we're at very high levels after the decline that we've had. Same here on the dollar yen, we're at very high levels after the decline. Are we gonna break above 148.80, or are we going to hold here? For me, we're very high up. We're getting into a sell zone, so I don't want to be buying into the sell zone. I mean, of course, price can just come up and retest this double top. But you have to start to understand that we are into where the selling started to move down. So we're negative for the day. Now, this uptrend could just continue. We could just have 1 or 2 days down. And then if the US dollar strength is going to continue across all pairs, then yes, this could still come up further and higher. So, we might have to monitor what is the US dollar doing. Because continue keeping its strength, it's going to be difficult for the dollar yen to have a strong sell-off. However, we are coming back up to the sell level. So we're just going to have to maybe watch and see what the market's doing. All right. And is this going to offer a reversal opportunity at such high levels? I mean, the first clue is going to be from the 4-hour chart. Does it put in a lower top? See how we false broke last month's high? I talk about the highs and lows of last month being very strong support and resistance levels. So at the moment, the fact 2 candles here rejected last month's high at 148.34. So the thing to watch for at the moment is, does price come up for a retest? Wherever this may bottom on the 4-hour chart, does it come up for a retest of 148? What did I say the level was? 148.34. Does it start to hold and turn over? Because if you start to see a rejection here and a lower top form on the 4-hour chart, that's your first signal that we maybe are holding here at last month's high for a turnover to move back down the range. All right, so does it come up for retests? Maybe like a 79% retracement. Do you see a rejection up there? If you do, you're probably going to start to see the likes of the euro yen and the pound yen come up and then turn over. And then, pick a yen pair that you like maybe for a movement back down the range. But I'm very aware that the likes of the pound yen, the euro yen, and the dollar yen are very much in a day chart uptrend. So that can just continue for the next 2 weeks and it blows through the high areas. So just notably, we're at very high selling levels. And yeah, Patrick, there is a possibility that price could just blow through the double top this year if the US dollar strength continues and if inflation continues to pick up in the US, and then maybe interest rate cuts are off the table. Because this demise that we saw down here was the idea that interest rate cuts are coming in the US, and maybe now they're not. And if inflation just starts creeping up, yes, for them for sure, we could come up and attack, up here. So, we'll just have to wait and see. So there's very much a chance that yes, and that's provided, like you say, that there's no intervention by the BOJ. I don't think the BOJ is going to intervene unless we, get back up into the 150s. Because at the moment, without having to spend any money, the BOJ could see this hold round about 149, turn over for a lower top, and then starts to decline, and the body doesn't have to do anything. So we'll have to wait and see. It's just worth understanding that we are in an area where we could top out here. So it's not necessarily an area that I want to engage into buying. However, if you're more bullish, then what you really want to look for, if you're more bullish and you think this day chart uptrend is going to continue for long term, just monitor for a pullback. All right. If it pulls back to, 62% levels here, which is at 145.94, about the 146 level, starts to hold around 146, there may be, now they're at lower levels, that could be a good opportunity to get long for, yes, a run up to the highs. So, there's two sides of the market here at the moment. We're at very high levels at the moment where we could see a sell-off, maybe back down to 146, and 146 will start offering support. We'll then move back up. All right, we're just a little bit overextended at the moment, so it could be this could go short for a short-term period and then hold, and the buyers could come back in if there's more, US dollar bullish news coming out, and then yes, we could, attack the double top. So some of these pairs aren't that easy to read in the long term at the moment, because fundamentally we were thinking interest rates were coming, interest rate cuts were coming. Now maybe that's not the case. So over the course of like 3 or 4 weeks, things start to change the landscape a little bit. All right, let's finish with gold. Back down to weekly support here. This is my 4-hour chart. It's holding here at the moment. So the two bigger areas of support and resistance on the weekly chart. This is support. That is resistance up there. And we're on support. We are putting in a lower top here, so it's a little bit suggestive of a very good rejection and then retest and failure at these monthly highs, 1, 2, 3. But we're on support, so I wouldn't be selling into support. You have to decide, do you want to be a buyer on support? It's on the day chart here, we are lower bottom, lower top. Weekly trend is lower top from failure monthly resistance. So those two things stack a little bit of weight to the downside. So we may get a bounce here, but it could be a short kind of cap bounce. And there's a little 4-hour range here. You could just be monitoring this 4-hour range. Again, does this just bounce up? Maybe to the 79% level. Can you get a tight entry to see if we can break down below? The fact that we've held at the major monthly triple top area, put in a weekly lower top, maybe we'll start to erode through this weekly support. But it's not an area where you want to sell at. You can sell a little bit higher up, get your trade to break even for the possibility of a break. Great. All right. Now, of course, you may be well bullish on gold. Well, if you are, this could be your buy level. Stop below the low here. Trade back up to the tops. And do we break above the tops? Because we still have a lot of geopolitical uncertainty, especially in the Israel area, and I can't remember what it's called now, where all the large boats go through, where there's a war going on. We're starting to see a little bit of a war there as well. If that all escalates, then we could see this move back up. So there's still lots of uncertainty geopolitically at the moment, and are things going to escalate? If they do, that could be bullish for gold. So depending on what side of the coin you're on, this is the buy level at the moment if you're very much bullish on gold. And this still remains a sell level until it's broken above. All right, so, but a lower top forming on the weekly chart, downtrend on the day chart. So things are a little bit more to the downside than to the upside in terms of trend. All right. All right, you want Azu, you want me to go through the NAS? It's holding at the high, isn't it? Right at the all-time high up there. The monthly trend is up because we have a higher top, higher bottom here, but this is the all-time high. So it is holding there at the moment. Another higher bottom forming on the weekly. So can we push up and through? Or, we're actually on the day chart here, we're starting to form a lower top area. So, I wouldn't be buying into the all-time high. The only thing I could do personally if I wanted to trade this would be to sell at the all-time high, because it is showing you that we have a lower bottom coming up to 79% level, which overlaps with the all-time high. And let's look at these candles up here. Wiki candles at the all-time high. All these spinning tops, that does not show positivity. So you have to make a decision. You're either doing nothing because you think it's going to move higher, but you don't want to be buying into the high, or you're getting ready to short, or you're already short. So I don't know what side of the boat you're looking at there. You're looking to the short side. All right, so you're already short. Yeah, I mean, technical analysis is most definitely saying, okay, maybe we're topping out there. So then, you take the trade, you manage your risk, you've got your stop in place, and you're going to be right or wrong, aren't you? That's the same scenario for every trade. So, it is at the all-time high. The fact that once more this month now, well, not once more, but this month now, last month, Fed was saying interest rate cuts coming. Now data is suggesting maybe that's not the case. So that's negative for the stock market, isn't it? All right. So CPI is just staying where it is, or it's upticked 0.1%, I think. So, inflation could have dipped and could have bottomed and could be on its way back up again. Inflation could have, where it peaked at. So of course, inflation's been going up, then it's come down, but now, it could go back up again. Wherever it's kind of found its base at the moment, maybe it's on its way back up. We'll have to wait and see. Now, this could just chew around this area for a while, and then some very positive inflationary news comes out that maybe inflation is decreasing, and then it could break above there. But at the moment, it's at resistance. Rallied. This is coming up from a lower bottom, so it's rallied. Is it going to fail there? All you can do is, if you want to get short there, which you said you've done, is have your stop in place, manage the risk, and see whether or not it's going to reverse, like every other trade. All right, I'm going to wrap things up there. Thanks for all the questions coming in. Next week from me, get rid of my drawing tool. On the webinar front next week, more analysis on Tuesday. Tuesday, the 23rd. Wednesday's education webinar is how to become a consistent trader. That will be the topic. And then again, more analysis from me on Thursday. Webinar start for me at 8 p.m. Sydney time. So if you want to join me next week, just head over to the webinar page and register your interest. And I look forward to seeing you then. All right, everybody, have a great rest of the week. Good weekend. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, everybody.